My name's Sam McEwen. I'm a writer, illustrator, musician, and I make comics. I think my biggest influence would be my dad. He was a comic book artist as well, so I kind of grew up around him and around cons, so I was introduced to comics at a very early age. Growing up, I read a lot of superhero comics. Ultimate Spider-Man was something that I read a lot of, and then once I hit sort of 17, 18, I discovered autobiographical comics, and that's kind of the point that I was like, this is something that I want to do and something that I can do. Autobiographical comics I find interesting because it's such a personal medium, especially when you're the writer and the illustrator, and comics are very labour intensive. I am super influenced by the Sydney music scene. That's kind of what I write and draw a lot about. But you know, punk and comics have gone back for like years, and you know, with zine culture. One sort of artist that I think blends music and art really well is Ben Montero. He's done a lot of album covers for like Courtney Barnett, Kurt Vile, Mac DeMarco, countless gig posters, and just all his comics are about music and how wonderful it can make you feel. My art style I think is very simple line work. I start with pencils and then go over with a dip pen in inks, and then I'll scan that and colour digitally. One of my main influence artistically, style-wise, is a Norwegian guy called Jason. His clean, simple lines, I've sort of taken to using that. I also think the old Tintin comics, which I kind of wasn't intentional. I think I never sort of read Tintin a lot growing up, but I think I was just aware of that sort of style, I guess that sort of European style. So I play in a band called the S-Bends, and we are hard to define. I think, I mean, very simply put, indie rock, jangly guitar. We've been compared, there was a drunk old dude at a pub once that said we sound like Paul Kelly covering the Velvet Underground, which I'll take. I don't know if I agree with, but I'll take. I think some of our influences are like The Ocean Party and Dick Diver and yeah, some of the Australian, the 80s sort of stuff. There's 5 of us in the band and 4 songwriters, so we all bring something very different to the table, which creates this interesting melting pot. Having that balance between being creative and having a 9 to 5 is quite interesting. There are some days I'm happy to come home and just draw, and there are other days where, you know, I've used up all my creative energy at work. I'm very lucky and have a creative job, video editing, for a radio station, so I use a lot of creative energy in my day-to-day, but there's still that love and passion for playing music and drawing comics. I'm always happy to come home and write and draw when I need to or when I want to. I'm working on a series called Good Stuff I've been listening to lately. So that's a monthly sort of little snippet of some of the music I've been listening to, and that's just sort of to make sure I'm doing something month to month. I also am doing I do a series of mini comics, which sort of are little snippets about particular albums or singles and the band behind it, recording process. So I'm trying to keep them pretty regular as well. I've done one on the Go-Betweens, one on Paul Kelly, the Velvet Underground, Patti Smith. I'm trying to do some more contemporary artists like Julia Jacklin and Snail Mail to just keep that going as well. If people want to find my work, they can head to my Instagram. It's probably the best spot, which is Sam McEwen 95.